Welcome to the Market Magnetism Minute, where we find the magnetism in your marketing. I'm Susie Phillips, president of the Welcoming Team, and today I want to show you a solution to a dilemma that every single one of us has, and that is, what do you say when somebody asks you, what do you do? Now, I know this happens to us all of the time. You're at some social function or a networking event or something or other, and you meet somebody and they ask you, what do you do? Do you ever go to a trade show or some type of association event? And that question always comes up. What do you do? And so I want to ask you, what do you do when somebody asks you that question? Well, chances are you're like most people. You start telling them all about your work, your job title, how long you've been doing it, and who you work with and who you work for. Meanwhile, the person is listening politely as you ramble on and on, only to forget all about you before they even talk to the next 5 or 10 people at the event. Now, none of what you just wasted 15 minutes of your life explaining even matters to them. They're not going to remember you or what you do. You're not memorable. And I know you know what I'm talking about because you yourself have asked people, what do they do, right? And seriously, do you find any of what they tell you that they do as memorable? No, you don't. And you rarely remember the people that you talk to unless they said something memorable. Sure, they care about what you're saying, but they really don't care all that much. They're listening because they want to be polite. But at these events, they're trying to network with people that they can connect with who will help them further their career and their business. Now, even if you had a great conversation with the people that you talk to, they're focused on themselves and their business. They're not really going to understand you. And the other thing about these kinds of conversations is when you took the time to talk to people at these kinds of events, did you take the time to find out if this person is a good contact for you? Or did you just waste 15 or 20 minutes of your life talking to somebody who you can't help and they can't help you? So the question is there a better way to connect with people? And the answer is yes. Here's the big secret to making that memorable connection when talking to people. The secret is simply to qualify them first, before wasting your time with them. Now, this means you'll be memorable, but you'll also be focused on who you need to connect with. So you're at a meeting, somebody asks you, what do you do? Step 1 is you qualify them. Step 2 is you be memorable. And step 3 is be focused on who you need to connect with at the event. Okay, so those are the steps, and here's how you apply them in life. When somebody asks, what do you do? Every single time you're asked that, here is the response I want you to give them. So here we go. Somebody asks you the question, what do you do? Do not, and I repeat, do not answer that question. Instead, you'll say this, tell me what you do, and I'll tell you how what I do applies to you. And then they'll start telling you what they do, and you'll listen. And as you listen, you'll ask questions about their job that leads to something that can help you. So again, when somebody asks you, what do you do? You respond by saying, tell me what you do, and I'll tell you how what I do applies to you. And this gives the other person the opportunity to talk about themselves. They'll tell you who they are and all about what they do, and you're going to ask key questions, knowing in your mind what answers that you want. And these questions are designed to see if that person is a good connection for you. So, for example, I'll tell you how I do this in my own life and in my own business associations. Okay, so as you know, I am a revenue generator for businesses. I help businesses generate more sales and more revenue. And I'm president of a local new resident welcoming business where I help companies grow and increase their revenues, specifically by capturing new residents as their newest customers. So my service is revenue generation, marketing consultancy, and revenue growth. That's what I do. So when somebody says to me, Susie, what do you do? I don't say, I'm a revenue generator for companies, I am a marketing consultant, and I help people grow revenue, and I help companies grow their business. No, I don't say that. I simply say, tell me what you do, and I'll tell you how what I do applies to you. Now, keep in mind, I know who I am looking for. I know who I want to connect with. The people that typically hire me are either business owners, managers, or marketing directors. And so that's who I'm looking for at these meetings and events. So let's say somebody comes up to me and says, Susie, what do you do? I'll turn it around and I'll say, well, tell me what you do, and I'll tell you how what I do applies to you. So then that person starts telling me who they are and what they do. As they answer that question, I'll ask them about their job, and that leads to something that they do that's something that can help me. Now, some example questions that I ask during the conversation are, how do you like your job? How long have you been with the company? Has your business been growing year after year? And they'll give me some answers. Then I'll start asking some extraction questions to find out if they have a connection to a manager or a marketing director or even the owner. And I'll ask questions like, tell me about your competition. Tell me, what are some of your challenges? What are your year-over-year sales? Is your company growing or not? And many will say, yeah, we're growing, but not as fast as we like. And when I hear that, that's a trigger for me. And then I'll ask them this specific question. Who's in charge of your marketing or advertising department? And again, I'm looking for the name of the manager, the marketing director, or the owner, or whoever. And he'll tell me who it is, and bingo, we now have a name of the person in charge of advertising and marketing. Then I can say something like this. I would love an opportunity for you to introduce me to your director of marketing. Would that be possible? And then I tell them what I do, which is I'm a revenue generator and I help businesses generate more revenue and sales. And I own a local new resident welcoming business where I help companies like yours grow and increase revenue, specifically by capturing new residents for you as part of your newest customer base. And that's why I asked you about who's in charge of marketing. Would you be willing to introduce me to your marketing manager? And I'll get a yes or a no. And so the key is to deal with the what do you do question differently. You don't answer that question. Instead, you let the person talk about themselves. Get all of that information out of them, and all while in the back of your head, you know who you're looking for. In my case, it's the marketing director. And then I ask them the key questions to see if there's a connection. If he knows the marketing director or the owner or the manager or whoever makes marketing decisions. Now, what do you do if they don't know the name of the person who you're looking for? Well, that's okay. You've just disqualified that person because now you know that he doesn't really have a connection with the person that you want to talk to. And that means that I'm not going to waste any of my time and I can't use him as a referral. So this person is not a good business connection, okay? So I hope you're starting to see how powerful it is when someone asks you that question, what do you do? Just remember, don't answer the question. First, turn it around. Tell me what you do and I'll tell you how what I do applies to you. Then let the person talk and know specifically what questions that you want to ask and what information you want to extract from them. In my case, I want to get the information as to, does he know who is in charge of making marketing decisions? If he does, great. This could be my way into the company. If he doesn't, this guy is not a good lead for me to follow up with on the next day. Now, I hope this tip has been helpful for you the next time that you're asked, what do you do? This is Susie Phillips. Also, don't forget to check out my website, welcomingteam.com. We have a great opportunity for people who might be interested in opening $1 million welcoming business in their area. If that's you, I'd love to help you. I'd love to work with you and help you get it up and running and on track, making 7 figures in the next 18 months. So check it out and tell me what you think. This is Susie Phillips signing off, and as always, reminding you those ever-wise words from Zig Ziglar. If you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. Thanks for listening and take care.